Welcome back to the Chaos Factory. How are we this evening? So, this is a video that I've been kind of wanting to do for a little bit because I've kind of fallen off. And Frankenstein here has kind of gone way back on the back burner. And, I've kind of not really given any second thought into what I wanted to do with Frankenstein here. As far as finishing the build, doing a little bit more extensive framework on it, and but here it is, guys. Frankenstein was my very first custom build, and this is what basically the Chaos Factory started off of, was this ride contraption death trap right here that sits before you. Now, when we made this, me and my brother, because I can't take full credit on the idea of this madness, but we let me break it down a little bit. It started off as a two-seater, I believe, Yerf Dog little go-kart. I got it off of my neighbor, who gave it to me as partial payment for working on her other go-kart. Motor was seized up on it, didn't run, yada yada yada, bad tires, blah 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 blah, the whole 9 yards. So, me and my brother were sitting back here, messing around, tinkering with stuff, and we both came up with this idea of taking a go-kart and making it powered by a lawnmower motor as well as a lawnmower rear axle. So, what we did was we first hacked a few things off the rear end here, cut the motor plate out and everything, and then I went to the lawnmower, the donor mower, cut out the motor plate here, the motors from the front end, and the rear axle casing for the rear end. And when I took this front piece and I cut it with 2 strips, one on this side and one on the opposite side. And I proceeded to connect these to these, welding them up nice and solid on one side. On the other side, have the connecting pieces welded up right here as well. I have a piece of bed frame right here, expanding this gap from here to the rail here. And then I went and took some other bed rail and came all the way down on the bottom here and on the opposite side, and as well as some connecting rails on top from the back seat rest, which is welded up solid on that side, semi-solid, whatever. It was done quick. So these rails run down here to this part of the rear end, which has a just standard drive, neutral, reverse, rear in it, no gear changes, just I believe a 3-inch pulley on the motor, on the rear end, and there was a 6-inch pulley on the motor. So that's what I did to basically stiffen it up as much as possible. It's worked so far, nothing shifted on it. I'm 225 pounds, and this thing has moved me around and bounced me around. Hell, I flipped this thing over on top of me, guys. This is the one that put me in the hospital, was right here. That's a different story though. So everything on this is custom made pretty much. The cable, this is the first rig that I've had the idea for the cable idea for my clutch. So motor would sit here, which actually the motor that blew up on my cut mower right here is the one that used to run in this. And so I would sit in there with a 6-inch pulley. I would have a pulley right here on this bolt, and my pulley right here, 3-inch on the motor. I mean on the axle, 6-inch on the motor, with the tensioner pulley on here. So what I did here was I connected this lever right here, little redneck, redneck tie strap right there, down to the cable that runs all the way through here, through the wall, and then to the lever there. And that allowed me to basically relieve the tension on the belt, to shift it from neutral to drive, neutral to reverse, yada yada yada. The brakes on this are another custom design, I guess you would say. It's a lever action. We've got a brake rail that runs up to the pedal here. This, let's see, runs down the rail here to an adjustable pivot. And when you step on that, it pivots right here. And when you step on it, it works the brake lever. The shifter was something else that I had to modify, obviously, because this thing needed to be modified with everything. But basically, another pivot with the rod. I was going to put a lever shifter up there, so that way I can go from neutral to back to reverse, or neutral up to drive, and lock it into place. I had to extend the lever down on the bottom here, make that work. Had to reinforce the ends right here to bring the rear back about 1 inch. Let's see here. Battery, obviously, wiring and everything right there. Fuel tank, which has been quite controversial about the placing right here, but it will be. My plan is to maybe move it back here. Maybe build something to stick off the back of it to hold the fuel tank, so that way it's not right behind my head. There were some parts that were pirated off of this for another go-kart, throttle cable, and some other things. So I was planning on getting a new one anyways. There's my route that I was planning on going with right there. And I was planning on building a switch box to go right here. And I haven't seen anybody do it yet. I'm going to take an old valve cover and drill a couple holes for switches and whatnot. And I'm gonna bolt it right there. I figured that'd be a nice little switch box. And we're given the whole persona of Frankenstein. He is made of a lot of parts for many different things, hence Frankenstein. The tires on it, I don't really like too much, but I have the tires on Nightmare, who I took out for a little romp today, and actually I lost my belt, but those are smaller HCV tires I have on that I'm thinking about putting on this, because I have these bigger tires right here that will be going on to Nightmare once I get a set of rims. But guys, here is the Frankenstein. Like I said, guys, this one put me in a hospital. This was my first true custom build. He is going to be worked on again very soon. I'm still debating on the motor size. I think I may want to go with an Opie. If I do, I'm going to need to take all this out. Take this rail out, take the seat out, like the stuff that's underneath it here, take this out. Probably put some new rails in, because I'm gonna want to stretch this anyways at least 6 inches, because stretching it 6 inches will give me a little bit more comfortable fit in this. I'm about 5'10", 220 something pounds, like I said, and I'm scrunched up when I sit in this thing, and I do want to stretch it. So I guess if I'm planning on putting an Opie in it, which I kind of want to now, I've got Opie fever for some reason. This is going to have to get rebuilt, because this is built for a 12 horsepower flathead, not an Opie. So, on that note, here's Frankenstein, guys. He is going to be coming up on the chopping block soon. So look forward to videos of him, because he shall be risen from the dead soon. Very soon. And this is, I don't know what this is going to be just yet, but it's going to be something. And then, of course, Toxic, sitting there looking very impatient. And then the lid for Nightmare. I took him out today, got myself a little, I got a little muddy. He performed pretty good. Now I just got to get the right belts for him. But I had some fun with him today. And honestly, I had to build the shifter again, rebuild it, because this way up here I snapped the bolt. And I kind of like this shifter a little bit better, the way this one shifts all the way down. That's 5th gear, and then right there, that's reverse. So I like that, and I like the open wheel design. But I'm going to make another video on this. But guys, there it is. There it is.